on the wheel bearings.
You want to take us through that?
Make sure they're nice and flush.
You want to take us through that with us?
Yeah, as soon as I get the wheels off, I'll let you know.
Well, you guessed it. We are prepping again to hit the road. But we're not going far. We're staying in our own province. And just caught Brent doing a whole bunch of stuff, and we thought we'd check out and see what he's up to and fill you in on that. Share it with you. Hey Brent, what you doing?
Just gonna double check the rear seals on the wheel bearings.
You want to take us through that?
Make sure they're nice and flush.
You want to take us through that with us?
Yeah, as soon as I get the wheels off, I'll let you know.
Well, you guessed it. We are prepping again to hit the road. But we're not going far. We're staying in our own province. And just caught Brent doing a whole bunch of stuff, and we thought we'd check out and see what he's up to and fill you in on that. Share it with you. Oh, where are we going? Yes, I mentioned we were going into staying in our own province, but we bought property and we're really excited about it. So we're heading up to go and clean up the lot. It was sort of abandoned for about 15 years. And there's a little bit of grass on there. There's no trees. Well, there's one, but we're gonna keep it. And we're gonna go start the process of getting power to the property and water, and first we gotta clear the land. So that's where we are going, back up to Crawford Bay where we bought our property. And Brent, what are you doing here?
Well, since we had to buy 2 new batteries for the truck, one of the batteries that I had in the truck is still good. One was totally dead, so that went to recycle. The other one I kept as a spare, thinking, well, maybe I could throw it on the front of the trailer and use it as a second battery, as a backup for power if we're ever boondocking. Which I got a box for it. I bought some extra cables to put the 2 together to put them in sequence. But I'm not sure if they're totally compatible. And I'll have to talk to somebody that is more electrically aware or knowledgeable. And so I'm going to put this together. I won't hook this battery up, but it will be there as a spare.
Okay, and you got a whole bunch of tools over here as well.
Yeah, those tools, before our last trip, which is, well, it was one quick trip to Kootenay Lake, it was about 2,000 miles or 1,600 miles, roughly.
I don't know, it's 8.5 or 9 hours.
Yeah, 18 hours driving. How's that sound? Anyways, I repacked the bearings. That's all fine. The rear seals, when I put them on, I put them on not perfectly, so they're not completely flush around the hub. And I got a new tool that will take care of that. I just have to pull the hubs off, check them to make sure that there's no grease leaking, and then I'll just smooth it out and make sure that the seals are nice and flush.
All right, well, how about if I leave you with the GoPro and you can share?
Good morning, everyone. I have a minor issue, and actually it all depends on what you consider minor. The wheel bearings on my trailer, I did them, I repacked them all before our last trip, so I've got around roughly 1,000 miles on them. I know that the bearings are fine. My issue is that when I put the rear seals on, there was a slight gap. I pushed one of them in a little bit too far, so it's not 100% flush all the way around the rim on the hub. So I'm going to be taking off all of the wheels one at a time, of course, and I'm going to take you along with me to show you what I mean by on the rear seal. It has to sit flush, otherwise you may get some grease leakage into your brake shoe area. So follow me and see you in a little bit. I'm going to put it on time lapse so you can see exactly what I'm doing, and then I'll talk to you a little bit here and there, and once I get everything all figured out. I've got the first hub off, and what I was talking about on the rear seal is just this little thing right here. See, this is the inside of the hub, and this here is the seal, and it's nice and flush all the way around. I know on the other side of this axle, on the other side there, I know that one, there is just in one spot, or maybe a quarter of the way around it, it's a little bit below the actual hub rim, which may cause a leak down the road. Probably not, but it's a possibility, so that's why I'm doing this check on all four. As you can see, it's a little dirty in here, of course, but there's still lots of meat on the pads for the brakes. We're 3.5 years old. I've debated on getting new brakes, but I think they quoted me around $230 to $260 per hub, which I guess is okay. Thought about going to disc, but that's another price ballpark that I'm not comfortable with. So anyways, just to give you an idea, it is a little bit dirty under here. I've got the wet bolts, of course. I will be greasing all of those while I'm down here. And this one I'm going to put back together, and I'll check the next one, and we'll see about that. And everything looks fine on this first one, so hopefully the rest of them are okay. Well, the girls are all buckled in, ready to go. They're pretty good travelers now. Bailey's never had a problem. Wrigley, we haven't had a problem with her in, well, a good couple of years, 3 or 4 years anyways. So, Miriam's at work. I'm in the process of packing everything up. All I have to do is pull in one more slide, bring up the jacks, and hook up and hit the road. I'm going to pick up Miriam at work. So the only thing that I have to watch out for, I'll be doing my own pre-trip, well, like I always do anyways, but usually when I'm at the back of the trailer, Miriam checks out the lights, signals, hazards, or the four-way flashers, brake lights, etc. This time I'm going to be able to do all that, but to check the brake lights, I'm going to have to use a brake. Not a big deal. So yeah, we're almost ready to fly. Got 2 slides in, third one to come in soon. And yeah, heading out. This will be our first trip driving mostly in the dark. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't really have an issue. I just prefer not to drive at night. You can see better in the day. Yeah, there she is. Hey Wrigley, is that Mom? Who's that, Wrigley? Is that Mom?
Wrigley! Hi! Oh, where's Bailey? Oh, there's Bailey. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, hi. Bailey, don't scratch the truck. Okay, calm down. All right.
They were wondering where you were all day.
I know. Aside from the forest fire that I missed, we have an amazing full moon to travel by as soon as some of these trees clear out. Which is making it quite nice actually out here. We have dry conditions.
Well, very dry, some would say.
Yeah. And we have a full moon. I think that's a harvest moon. It's kind of got a bit of a, maybe a bit of a yellow tinge. I'm not sure. Keeps hiding behind the clouds periodically.
And we're still sitting at 14 Celsius at 8:13 at night. Still fairly nice weather out here.
Yeah.
In the middle of October.
This is ridiculous.
This is awesome.
Global warming, folks. Global warming. I guess the summer took its sweet time getting here, so
Sure.
taking its sweet time leaving too.
Yeah, that moon is bright.
You won't get any complaints from me. I'm enjoying the warm weather this year so far. So, Brent,
Well, here we are in the truck.
what do you think about driving at night?
Actually, I kind of like it. Driving at night is not that bad. I don't have great night vision. I just get headaches sometimes. It's not a huge deal. Tonight was fine. We left South Surrey at 5:30 p.m. We just rolled into a Soyuz at 10:30, roughly. And it's not too bad. Aside from a couple spots where they're under construction and the new lines are not painted, they're still temporary markings. That was a little sketchy at a few spots, just slowed down. But
What was the other problem with that too? We had,
I think the biggest issue with driving at night, there's two issues. The biggest issue that was bad, the LED V on the front of the RV, we usually keep that on. And we drive with it on, no problem. It's never been an issue until tonight. That sucker was like having somebody right on my bumper with high beams.
why don't you go show them?
And I'll show you that in a little bit. But the other issue I had, which isn't really an issue, it's actually a good thing. Men are a very visual being. And in the daylight, I'm always constantly checking the tires as I'm driving, checking both sides, checking to see if anything's hanging out of the trailer, anything crazy like that. Nighttime, there's nothing to look at.
Except for straight ahead.
Yeah, just go. So that's kind of a bonus because I do all the work on the trailer myself. I know everything's in great shape, but in the daylight, I'm always just looking. So it was kind of a nice change of pace.
And even though he was just looking, he still managed to hit something.
Oh, poor Frower. Coming through Carameus.
Well, it was this side of Carameus,
Yeah.
East of Carameus.
This is the first time in my life I've ever hit anything on the road.
Now our truck smells.
Yeah, we hit a skunk. And I feel bad.
I know, but the truck stinks. Trailer doesn't, though, or as far as we can tell. Anyways, let's show them these lights.
I will go turn the lights on.
Okay, headlights are on.
Headlights are on.
Actually, they seem kind of dim.
High beams on.
Okay, well, there's a little bit of light pollution here, so it's not as bad. But when you're in the dark in the forest, and you got that V shining in your light.
Yeah, and actually if you just want to spin the camera around and face straight back, you'll see how bright that actually is when there's no other lights around. just moonlight was the only light we had. And then that, yeah, I had to pull over and turn those lights off.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that's enough for today.
Yeah.
We're gonna get up in the morning.
Last night we mentioned that we hit a skunk, and I could smell it all night long, and I think I know why. So inside the wheel well, there's all these little oil spots, and it stinks here really bad because it has hit on the driver's side. And then on the front of the trailer, all these yellow dots. It's not the same on the other side. So, yeah, and then I said to Brent, it's probably all over the stabilizer and all that too. So, when we land in Crawford Bay at the Kokanee Chalets RV park, we need to do some cleaning because it's just stinky. Poor skunk. Sorry, but it's just too cold. Just too smelly. Sorry, I'm cold because it's chilly out here. Okay, talk to you in a bit. Well, we're off the ferry. Woohoo! That took a while.
Getting home again, jiggity rig.
Yeah, I guess the big ferry was having some
engine issues.
Yeah, so the small ferry only carries a third of the number of vehicles on it. So, anyways, we're just doing the last little leg from Kokanee Bay into Crawford Bay, and we'll be pulling into Kokanee Chalet, where we're staying for the week.
Artistic by nature.
The broom store here.
Yeah, that one there.
Apparently those brooms were used
Is it
in...
Space Twig or something?
No.
Harry Potter?
Harry Potter. To check out these little shops.
Yeah.
See if there's something for the kids for Christmas, something different than the norm. And here we are, our little home for the week.
Good morning, all. I have a slight, well, let's start that again.
Okay, we need to get rid of this. Last night we mentioned that was too bright and now it's too dark.